Fortnite OG is great. I've seen so many videos claiming the opposite, and after about a month of playing and listening to reasons of why players don't enjoy it, I wanted to make a response. In this video, I'm going to walk through why I think it's a fantastic addition to the game, and why I've been playing it almost exclusively this last month. Let's address the elephant in the room: nostalgia. My first ever match of Fortnite was September 26, 2017, after downloading it a day early, so I am officially an old head when it comes to the game. Having the original map in this specific spot of 2 houses north of Tomato Town is awesome. Every other time there's been a throwback season, it's always included tilted towers and progressed a little farther than the actual original, so having the huge map, old locations, and mostly original loot pool in its own separate mode is a welcome addition to the game. Having no build was a great way to separate the sweats from people just trying to enjoy themselves, and adding ranked to both modes makes that separation even better. When I want to grind it out, I'll hop on ranked, but if I just want to relax, unranked is a nice change of pace. The loot pool is awesome. This is one of the bigger complaints I've seen across the internet, but I have to disagree. I have 3 main contentions as to why I think this loot pool is fantastic. Number 1, rarity. If there are separations between rarities of items, then the common and uncommon need to make sense. The fact that blue weapons and higher tier items are harder to come by is awesome, because even in Chapter 6, I get a full inventory of purple items within minutes, and that dampens what you used to feel when finding a weapon of that rarity. I get genuinely excited finding blue and purple weapons, and making it to mid-game with only gray and green weapons means one chest or one looted enemy could change the whole game for you, and I love that. I played Chapter 6, and in 5 matches, I only looted 3 enemies after leaving my initial landing spot because I had everything I could ever need already. The rarities meaning something again changes that, and the supply drops now become hotly contested once again. My second point is the weapons and items themselves. Every single weapon has its own unique purpose, and nothing is overly inflated. There isn't a single weapon I would remove or replace from the game, except the scoped assault rifle. Seriously though, even weapons like the SMG and the burst assault rifle now have worked their way into my lineup of weapons. I've taken a green SMG over a gray pump before and won with it. Everything has their place, and there's no 8-word names to weapons. It's just, hey, this is an assault rifle. Onto the items, grenades are great, and adding a porta-bunkers into no build helps combat snipers and large open swaths of land. I didn't think I would want a non-OG item being thrown into the loot pool, but I really enjoy its addition. What's likely the most controversial point of my 3 is my final one: heals. I love how heals are being treated in OG. Bandages are bountiful, medkits are a little uncommon, but you can find them, and shields are like nectar of the gods. You cannot find them anywhere, and I love that. Just like the weapon rarity meaning something again, when everyone has shields, no one has shields. There is significant meaning to finding a shield or making intentional choices in combat encounters. Tanking damage like crazy isn't as viable an option anymore, because even if you have full shield, you won't when you make it out of that battle, and there's not a guarantee that the player will have enough to fully replenish you. There's now immense value in strategic planning to minimize damage, and I've noticed players are a lot more careful in matches for this reason. This leads to tense standoffs, and when combat takes place, it's all the more intense. Honestly, I wish they would make shields this rare always, but that's just wishful thinking. I've seen so many people complain about the map size. The amount of Reddit posts and YouTube videos of people saying this map is too massive is crazy to me, because you know what else is massive? But seriously though, this is a huge point of contention for players, and again, at the risk of looking like a contrarian, I love it. Walking somewhere takes a while, and the map is large enough that you can avoid other players altogether and make it into some pretty small circles. This can be a viable strategy if you don't have shields, and provides a level of gameplay that hasn't existed in this capacity in the modern seasons in quite some time. The lack of cars also helps with the feeling of making your decisions matter. Your decision of where to land matters, because there is a large swath of the map you simply won't be able to get to. Even with the circle closing in, with cars, you're easily able to hit most locations on the map in rapid succession. In OG, if you land somewhere, that's where the majority of your loot is coming from aside from eliminated players. In my own experience, that has led to far more intense encounters in the early game, even in the smaller and unknown locations. Map size is also a huge plus because it allows for players to take full advantage of the advanced movement mechanics added to combat the storm and map size. I didn't know how I would feel about advanced movement in OG Fortnite, but it is a big help crossing distance when running from the storm. Personally, my favorite thing about the map size is the ability to test the limits and capabilities of the weapons and yourself. If you find a spot on the map with open enough area around it, you can really see how far a sniper can shoot or from what distance you're accurate with a revolver, and that's a ton of fun. Overall, the map size is likely my favorite thing about OG Season 1 because I'm a sucker for strategic slow burns. Heck, the first few videos on my channel were all DayZ. However, Fortnite is not without those who do not enjoy it, especially when compared to Chapter 6. The current season is faster paced, balanced, and has more mechanics that grab your attention. The map is small enough to reduce the time of matches and makes things far more action packed, and with almost 8 years of Fortnite development, the experience is far more streamlined than this little experiment Epic cooked up back in 2017. I brought on two longtime friends of the channel, Justifiable and Alex, to give their takes on why OG is in fact not better and why they think the current season is far more enjoyable from an objective lens and a personal enjoyment perspective. Hey y'all, I just wanted to pop in and introduce Justifiable and Alex. They're two longtime friends of the channel, and they have very different opinions than myself on Fortnite OG, so I'm just going to go ahead and mute myself and let them take it away.
OG is garbage and one of the worst decisions Fortnite has made in a hot minute. They had cars and the game was good. The ability to be able to drive cross map means you can take any fight you want or not take any fight you want.
Okay. Like, I'm not as extreme on this. Like, okay, I feel like just in general, if I'm making a decision between playing OG or playing like the season right now, like, whatever we're in, where we have like movement text like swords and, you know, cars and dirt bikes and all this fun stuff, like, yeah, I'd rather play the more fast-paced style as opposed to the OG map, mainly because like I don't really get as much of a nostalgia factor from the OG season. Like, it's fun. I'll play, with friends and stuff. But if I'm making an active decision, it's going to likely fall towards the normal map because it shows like more progression as well. Like, Epic Games has like refined the Fortnite like experience so much since like the first
They've done
game
such a
came
good
out.
job. They
Yeah,
cooked it.
exactly. Like most games that they'll just kind of like be stale after a little bit, like kind of like with OG, where it's like they have to bring it back, but they also have to take it away
Mhm.
after a season because it's so redundant after a little bit. And it is fun to have momentarily, but I don't want to play it like all the time.
Unlike your lack of nostalgia, I have tons of nostalgia for OG. I pre-ordered
Yeah.
Fortnite for $35 to play Save the
Mm.
World mode because I liked 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
So I was playing Fortnite when it looked like this,
Hmm.
and it was all right. It was fine, but all of the changes they've made since have improved the game so much, and I think it's really been stark to see what Barlix has talked about in this video is the reduction of healing across the map. Just that
Hmm.
there's less healing things,
Yeah.
and Barlix thinks that makes healing cool and scarce, and I think it just gigantically disincentivizes combat.
Oh
I
yeah.
think genuinely, if your goal is to win an OG Fortnite game, you should land in a house, loot the surrounding 3 houses, and then sit in the basement for as long as you possibly can. I think
Yeah.
that's the highest EV victory royale rate.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I thoroughly believe, as like a fundamental principle of game design,
Hmm.
that any game that incentivizes playing boring, that like
Yeah.
having no fun is good,
Hmm.
is stupid. The most
Yeah.
fun way to play should be the best way.
Exactly. And I feel like there is like, it's like, okay, I guess I can see how there's different forms of entertainment, but for me, it's like if I'm going to be distracted by something, I'd rather that distraction be like fun, energetic, and like worth the time that I'm spending on it. Where it's like the time I'm getting is like almost getting like an immediate satisfaction where I can just, yeah, like smaller map, I can kill people immediately, like as I see them and go towards violence as fast as I can and just absolutely destroy everyone. I feel like that's awesome. It's cinematic. It creates like this sort of urgency that, while some people might not enjoy that, like I could see why, you could enjoy OG better. But, I definitely prefer a fast paced sort of game because it's like I only have like a couple hours to play this game like with friends and stuff. So I'd rather that couple hours be filled with like intensity than like, oh yeah, we're just kind of walking around and trying to find shields.
I love all of the intensity just like you, and I think
Mhm.
if I was looking for a really slow-paced, grimy, I fight one person in the streets and then one of us is left mortally wounded and the other is dead,
Yeah.
I would be playing Tarkov. I would be
Yeah,
playing Hell Let
exactly.
Loose. I would be playing DayZ. I would
Mhm.
even be playing like Player Unknowns if I wanted that in a battle
Mhm.
royale
Oh
format.
yeah. Mhm.
I think
Definitely.
there's plenty of games that have explored the niche of what if it was a grim progression towards the center of the map where you hide like a coward in a hole, basically.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think those games are better at doing that.
We've talked a little bit about why Fortnite OG itself is poor, in your opinion. What
Mhm.
sets season 1 of chapter 6 apart compared to OG?
Well,
Cars,
yeah. Cars, dirt bikes, motorcycles,
yeah,
swords.
the ability
Has
to get
anything
across
like
the
that.
map, sprites that
Guns.
heal you a bunch,
Mhm.
way fewer instant death guns because the pump and the sniper in OG are both instant death guns, and I do not love that. I don't
Mhm.
think dying instantly in a battle royale game is helpful because I think
Yeah.
it's really annoying to just be
Mhm.
walking around for 20 minutes playing the game
Mhm.
and then get brained in one shot in a way you couldn't have prevented.
Yeah. I also feel
Whereas I
like.
think
Mhm.
OG or chapter 6 or whatever the heck it is
Mhm.
has some of those. I wish it didn't have the musket. I would get rid of that in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
But the amount of games that I've encountered a musket versus the amount of games I've encountered a pump or sniper is just
Mhm.
so different.
Yeah. And also, like, I feel like in terms of like relative scale for like OG's kind of more slow pace and Chapter 6's fast pace, I feel like they both pretty much nail balance. Like, yeah, there's a couple things, but like it's pretty fairly balanced. But I would still give it to Chapter 6 for being more balanced because like, you have more access to different ranges of guns. You have more access to different types of healing, so that balances the playing field just in terms of like the sheer amount of things. Like even with the sprites, like there's the wind sprites, there's healing sprites, and I think that also like contributes to that same thing. Whereas like the balance uh in the OG is that everybody is kind of struggling to find things.
Yeah, it absolutely rips me up when I'm in a fight in OG, and just because like if I've just fought someone and don't have any HP and I'm like, you know, 80 health, 50
Mhm.
shield,
Yeah.
I'm going to lose that fight even
Mhm.
if my opponent is way worse than me,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be mad about it.
Yeah. Mhm.
And OG invents that anger, whereas I get all of the happiness, but none of that anger from
Mhm.
the normal mode.
Yeah.
And it's so lame that the way to play is to just have a bunch of
Mhm.
health in your inventory and sit in a
Yeah.
hole. I want to be able to fight in the game about fighting. I want to be able to shoot people in the game about shooting. And I
Exactly.
want to be able to, you know, move between storm circles in the game that's about moving between storm circles.
Yeah, and it's also worth mentioning that all three of us only play zero build. So I think that
That
also
is
kind of
true.
changes the perspective of like this argument because like for people that play on the build mode, they're just like working 40-hour weeks on that game.
They both have great points, and what it ultimately boils down to is different playstyles, different preferences, and different people. Justifiable, Alex, and I are all very different, yet we still squad up and alternate between OG and the current chapter. I'm thankful there's separate options for each game mode, and at the end of the day, the real winner is Epic Games because all three of us and both playstyles mentioned are playing and talking about their game. Wrapping things up, I just wanted to put this video out there to say despite the noise, I am loving Fortnite OG and I can't wait to keep playing it. What do you think? Are you enjoying Fortnite OG? How does it stack up against the more streamlined current season? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I'll be posting one video a week and one short a day for all of 2025, so let me know what you want to see more of on the channel and there's a pretty good chance you'll see it. That just about does it for me, so until next time, y'all take care.